Well, moments before we came on air, the site where Kenyans are trying to purchase the ticket for the game of Kenya and Madagascar, Harambee Stars especially versus Madagascar, we can see the site experiencing high traffic. And as and when you get that particular ticket, kindly remember us and remember some of your colleagues. If you're not able to get those tickets, or remember that Chan Iko KBC. My name is Abdiaziz. Hashim, welcome to our Lunchtime News. And quickly, I want to take you to the Kenya School of Government, where the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC Chair, that is Dr. David Oginde, is currently speaking. Let's listen in.
You cannot take any action. So we would have to investigate the matter, find out whether indeed it is something that is happening, and if so, who are the people that are involved, and then take relevant action. Now, Parliament is a privileged space, and therefore we would not just go in there and start our investigation. And that's why the importance of engagement with the leaders of that institution, so that we would know exactly which direction to take. But this is something that we are pursuing and we will continue to pursue. Yes.
Perhaps lastly, you mentioned something about a particular county with an employee that has helped siphon about 500 million shillings with a salary of 20,000. Will you please elaborate with how long are the investigations? Would you mind telling about the county?
No, we cannot give you details of investigation. It will just spoil the whole thing. So at this point, this was just an illustration. Yeah. There are many others. One that is already in the public domain, you would know that a similar county clerk in Nairobi City Council, earning 50,000, had over 500 million that had is siphoned from the system, put up hotels and so on, part of which we have recovered, part of it not yet. So it is not an isolated case, but I was just illustrating that those people we call small fish are just as bad as the big fish. That's what I was trying to say. Yes.
Thank you. Asanteni sana.
Thank you.
Thank you. Asante sana.
Umena ni mbaya sana.
Well, that is the EACC Chair, Dr. David Oginde, of course, responding to some of the questions posed by the members of the press, including that particular question following President William Ruto's remarks that he made yesterday, as well as in Homa Bay, in terms of corruption within the Augusta House. EACC has confirmed it is a matter that they are looking into. As and when they have more, they will brief us. And of course, also talking about corruption within the devolved units. Our very own Dorina Range was following on that particular story and will brief us in our subsequent bulletins. Elsewhere, the Ministry of Health has reaffirmed its commitment to transforming hospital services in the country with a strong focus on quality care, sustainability and community impact. Medical Services Principal Secretary Dr. Umo Oluga on Monday outlined key reforms designed to strengthen service delivery and restore public confidence in health facilities. Olunga has emphasized that the reforms anchored on 4 pillars: service delivery, sustainability, governance and community impact, aim to guarantee patients better care and improved health outcomes. He spoke on Tuesday during a handover ceremony for the new Kenyatta National Hospital Chief Executive Officer Dr. Richard Lesiampe, who is taking over from Dr. Evanson Kamuri.
We just don't want care. We want quality care. Every single patient that goes to a facility have better experiences, and the outcome is what was intended. Better experiences mean that patients are not tossed upside down, that it is clear where they start, where they end, it's clear who they should see.
As you can see, I'm already dressed in a lab coat. I go back to dermatology, but I want to thank more so the staff of Kenyatta National Hospital, who have really supported us and my management for the last 6 years.
Mine is to come back, not to do anything else, but just to provide the leadership, to allow the employees and the staff of Kenyatta National Hospital to unleash their potential.
And in other news, Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Migos Ogamba has cited academic programs such as Bachelor of Science in Nursing and Bachelor of Science in Data Science and Artificial Intelligence as vital to meeting Kenya's healthcare and tech workforce needs. Ogamba also reaffirmed government support for higher education, noting over 136,000 loans have been disbursed for tuition fees and, of course, reduced the public universities. He made the remarks when presiding over the groundbreaking ceremony of a new learning resource center at Tangaza University and launching of its School of Applied Science and Technology.
Earlier this year, we issued a directive to all public universities to review the cost of academic programs downwards. As we speak, the fees payable by students per semester will now range between Kenya shillings 5,814 and Kenya shillings 75,000, depending on the student's level of need and the cost of the programs that they are enrolled in. Through the student-centered funding model, the government is providing loans to students in both public and private universities. As of last Friday, for example, the Higher Education Loans Board had awarded loans to 136,634 eligible first-time applicants, and the portal is still open and is receiving applications.
The Cabinet Secretary for Energy and Petroleum, Opiyo Wandayi, has issued a stern warning against vandalism of electricity infrastructure. Speaking in Likoni constituency when he launched a rural electrification project in Pwakani, Shika Adabu Ward being implemented by the Rural Electrification and Renewable Energy Corporation CS, warned that the vandals of electricity infrastructure will face the full force of the law. He urged the residents to safeguard electricity installation and report vandals to authorities for immediate action. Sentiments echoed by the area Member of Parliament, Hashim.
Wale ambao wanatembea wakiiba nyaya za stima, wakiharibu transformer za stima, wakitoa mataa barabarani, wananchi wazee ambao wanafanya kazi kama hiyo, tumewaonya. Sisi kama wizara tukifanya kazi pamoja na vitengo mbalimbali vya usalama, tumeanzisha operesheni kali sana kunasa hawa wazee na vijana ili wapelekwe korokoroni ndio wapate adabu. Sawa sawa? Kwa sababu kazi ya miradi ya maendeleo kama ya stima inagharimu pesa nyingi sana. Na hiyo pesa ni pesa yenu kama wananchi.
Iwapo mna changamoto za mambo ya moto, tuelezeni, tulete team ya Kenya Power ikae na nyinyi, tuangalie the best way, mutafanyiwa connection ya moto na mutumie moto kwa njia nzuri. Kwa sababu kivyengine tukifanya illegal connection tunaweza leta hatari, nyumba zingine zichomeke, hata si wenyewe tupoteze maisha.
The Kenyatta National Hospital is currently managing a set of twins that are conjoined at the abdomen and pelvis. They were born via a cesarean section on August 13th, 2025 at a combined weight of 3.6 kilograms at Naivasha County Hospital. However, the two successfully underwent an emergency colostomy procedure on August 17th to create an anal opening after medical evaluation confirmed that they do not have anal openings.
On August 14th, 2025, at 3 a.m., Kenyatta National Hospital under the Pediatric Intensive Unit received a referral of a set of conjoined twins born via cesarean section at Naivasha County Hospital. Upon arrival, medical evaluation confirmed that the babies are conjoined at the abdomen and pelvis and established a lack of anal openings, prompting the specialized pediatric surgical team to perform an emergency colostomy procedure and create an anal opening. Further tests revealed that the twins share a single large intestine. They also presented a congenital heart disease, impaired liver function, and a mild blood infection. However, KNH said the twins are stable and are receiving specialized care from neonatologists, pediatric surgeons, radiologists, and social workers. In November 2016, a medical team from KNH and the University of Nairobi, who were born joined at the sacral region of the lower spinal cord. A similar procedure was also conducted in 2023 after a team of medical experts separated a pair of 4-month-old male twins who were joined at the abdomen and chest. Kasichana Masha, Lunchtime News.
Elsewhere, health workers' union in the country have raised the alarm over what they term as the rise of insurance cartels in Kenya's health sector, accusing major insurance companies of interfering with patient care and frustrating the delivery of quality health care. Now led by the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union, KMPDU, the unions warned the practice are undermining the government's push for universal health coverage. Now, according to KMPDU Secretary General, that is Dr. Abdiaziz, the insurance companies have been dictating hospitals which patients should visit, which doctors to consult, and even which tests and drugs they should receive. The union claims delayed claim settlements have forced some hospitals and doctors to demand cash payments from patients, while others are compelled to rely on the Social Health Authority SHA funds before insurance steps in, draining resources meant for the vulnerable. That story will come in just a few. That is the response from KMPDU. But before we share that story, let's go to Migori, where a group of teenage girls from various schools across the country have launched a campaign in Migori County aimed at raising awareness on teenage pregnancies, gender-based violence, and new HIV infections among teenagers. The girls, who have partnered with their peers from Korea, are working towards creating safer spaces through the campaign dubbed Broken Crayons Still Color. The campaign also seeks to ensure that girls who have dropped out of school due to pregnancy are encouraged to resume their education. The champions will tour all the sub-counties in Migori County to raise awareness and educate fellow girls.
Nilikuanga shuleni nikapata ujauzito, nikatoka shuleni nikakuja kukaa nyumbani. Nilipelekwanga shuleni, life ikakuwa ngumu kupitia kwa changamoto ya fee, ikawa nafukuzwa fee, narudi nyumbani, maisha ikakuwa ngumu. Baadaye nikapata mimba nikiwa mdogo, bado ningali shuleni.
We hope to, spread more positivity and hope that the amount of teenage pregnancies may decrease as time goes on and the more that we visit these areas.
As grown-ups, when we talk to the girls, they don't understand our grown-up language. So the girls talk to them in their own teenage language, and they discussed with them all the challenges they're going through. They try to put positivity in them. They encourage them to go back to school, those who have not been, who got pregnant and dropped out of school. They discuss with them their rights as girls, what the Constitution says about their rights as women, though they are girls, but they are women.
Back to that initial story, where health workers' union in the country have raised the alarm over what they term as the rise of insurance cartels in Kenya's health sector, accusing major insurance companies of interfering with patient care and frustrating the delivery of quality health care. Led by the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union, KMPDU, the unions warned that the practices are undermining the government's push for universal health coverage. According to KMPDU Secretary General Dr. Abdiaziz, The insurance companies have been dictating hospitals which patients shall visit, which doctors to consult, and even which tests and drugs they shall receive. The union claims delayed claims settlements have forced some of the hospitals and doctors to demand cash payment from patients, while others are being compelled to rely on the Social Health Authority fund before insurance steps in, draining resources meant for the vulnerable.
That as much as we speak every day about the universal health care, the biggest impediment to universal health care in this country are private insurance companies that have decided to get themselves into cocoon and dictate to the patients which hospitals to visit. They dictate to patients which doctors to see. They dictate to patients which lab tests to have. And they dictate to patients which drugs to be issued.
Our expectation is that by 1st of September, the UHC staff should have been confirmed and backdated to 1st of July because the budget was for the whole year. And if that does not happen, we are going to resume our weekly demonstrations until that happens.
I really want to support the rollout of the SHA and everything else. Nevertheless, we are saying there are persistent challenges in regard to the SHA issue, and we want those challenges addressed with immediate effect so that we can be able to have that process running out smooth and clear.
Solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. Viva unions, viva! Viva!
Now, a row is brewing in Givui, Manyata area over constituency over the compensation of families whose parcels of land were hived off for the construction of the Gwachema Kidhinga Kiandome Kamove Road. Now the families are threatening to block the road, accusing the Embu County government of failing to pay them. A section of residents have expressed concerns over the impending transport disruption, saying the road has in the last 4 years facilitated movement of people and goods in the region.
Gari nzuri ni lile ambalo limerindwa vizuri, genuine parts, tuna genuine brakes ambazo zimekuwa engineered so that they can carry this country to the next level. So hakuna vile gari itaweza kupeleka mzigo vizuri kama haijafanyiwa service mzuri. So tuweze kuangalia mambo ya safety vizuri sana, na tuweze kuangalia mambo ya skills. Tuweze kuleta magari yetu yafanyiwe service, na tunahakikisha ya kwamba tutaweza kuhakikisha wananchi wamefikishwa vizuri magari zao, na pia mizigo ambaye ni muhimu sana kwa kujenga uchumi wetu itaweza kufika vizuri sana.
Mwezi huu kwanza wa August tumepata ajali kubwa sana zimeendelea katika taifa letu, na ndiposa tunaomba ya kwamba wanaoendesha magari, wale ambao wanatumia tractors kwa ukulima, wale wanatumia machines mbalimbali, tuwe na maneno ya kufuatilia safety measures ili ya kwamba watu wetu wasikufe ovyo ovyo wakiwa barabarani ama wakiwa mashambani.
17 minutes past the hour. Let's take our first commercial break on KBC's Lunchtime News. When we come back, we still have more for you, especially on the desk of business and sports.
We are real people who give real care. Visit www.definiteassurance.com or email info@definiteassurance.com for more information, or contact 0708-247-247 or 0788-247-247. Definite Assurance. You are definitely covered. J. Uko nao.
And a chance in the box area. Rifles the ball into the back of the net, and the South Africans have turned it around. Dabiso Kutumela starts home while the Cranes were in complete disarray. One touch, one shot to the back of the net, and the Bafana have turned the tables around here at the Nelson Mandela Stadium.
care. Visit www.definiteassurance.com or email info@definiteassurance.com for more information, or contact 0708-247-247 or 0788-247-247. Definite Assurance. You are definitely covered. J. Uko nao.
Kakandi, the trickster, lets it on for Jude Semugari to Alan Okello into the box area. Okello twists one way, then the other, takes the shot. Second bite of the cherry, shot comes in, and a touch by Sam Okello to deny Abdul Karim Watambala. Oh my, South Africa, I'll say it again, living dangerously, surviving by the skin of their teeth. For the Uganda Cranes, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, they would all have a grand treat, and that would be a goal. But they'll be made to work for more. Samukelo Ulu with a fine save. Pure instinct.
Back your favorite team as they battle for glory in the Total Energies CAF African Nations Championship 2024, right here on home soil.
Mimi hutumia mbolea inayoitwa Elgon Dhabiti DAP kwa upanzi wa mimea yenye afya bora. Halafu natumia mbolea ya Dhabiti CAN ama Dhabiti Urea kwa ukuaji wa mimea bora. Hii imenisaidia kupata mavuno mengi nikilinganisha na siku za hapo mbeleni.
Mbolea ya Elgon Dhabiti inapatikana kwa viwango vya kilo 10, 25 na kilo 50 kote nchini. Elgon Kenya Limited.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, the Ministry of Roads and Transport has cited speeding, dangerous, overtaking, drinking while driving, overloading, driver fatigue and careless road crossing as the major causes of road accidents in the country. According to data released by the sector, 2,933 fatalities have been reported between January and 10th of August 2025, with another 80 fatalities reported in the last few days alone.
Regional Traffic Enforcement Officer Jasper Ombati, accompanied by officers from the National Police Traffic Department and other road agencies, conducted an audit on behavior of motorists and other road users along the Nakuru-Kisumu-Eldoret Highway. The audit established that though most Kenyans are generally familiar with road safety measures, some do not adhere to the traffic rules.
And the most affected areas are Barnabas, Baruch, we have Kingdom Seekers where we are now. You go ahead St. Mary's, you go to Kikopey, then ahead there is also Naivasha and Kinongiri.
Ombati disclosed that overlapping was rampant on the highway, with 3 accidents reported in the past 24 hours in Nakuru County.
Apart from this, we have an accident which happened in Saliga yesterday, a very grisly accident, and we lost a nurse from the initial investigation because of careless overtaking without taking precautions. Apart from that, there is also another accident which happened in Njoro, where a small car Demio rammed onto a motorcycle.
In a bid to reduce the incidents, road users have been urged to be responsible on the road as the National Police Service, alongside other stakeholders, continue to step up efforts through multi-pronged strategies, including speed monitoring of public services vehicles and commercial vehicles, enforcement against overloading of goods and excess passengers, and cracking down on PSVs contravening licensed routes. Kasi Chanamasha, Lunchtime News.
Interior Principal Secretary, that is Dr. Raymond Omolo, is calling for the empowerment of border communities and integrating them into early warning systems to deal with terrorism. Omolo spoke Wednesday when he presided over the 4th Nairobi Caucus on prevention of terrorism under the theme Enhancing Border Security to Deter and Disrupt Terrorist Activity. Over 15 countries are participating in the two-day conference, where the speakers called for enhanced intelligence fusion and information sharing to deal with a threat that is transnational in nature. Apologies for that. He spoke today, Tuesday morning.
The 4th Nairobi Caucus saw security and intelligence experts as well as policymakers from over 15 countries and beyond gather to share insights, experiences and strategies in strengthening cross-border initiatives against evolving terrorism threats. Interior Principal Secretary Dr. Raymond Omolo wants border communities integrated into early warning systems of dealing with terror.
By integrating them into early warning systems through livelihood support programs and civic education initiatives, we build trust and resilience from the bottom to the top.
Sentiments echoed by the National Counter-Terrorism Center Director General Kibiegon Kigen, who said modernization of border infrastructure and technologies, as well as strengthened intelligence sharing across the borders, will go a long way in dealing with terror groups that take advantage of the porous nature of borders to infiltrate and wreak havoc across the region.
They seek to evade detection and exploit weaknesses in our security architecture. The challenge is immense, but so is our resolve. The success of our efforts hinges on a whole-of-government approach and a whole-of-society approach that fosters seamless collaboration among all agencies and stakeholders.
European Union Ambassador Heinrich Geiger adding that Africa and the EU continue to cooperate in dealing with this threat, even as she urged for leveraging technology as a force multiplier in tackling the cross-border threat.
There cannot be any security in Europe without security in Africa and in other regions. That's why we are facilitating those cooperative spaces, including connecting the African agencies with Interpol.
Yusufar reporting for Lunchtime News.
Police in Narok have launched investigations into the death of Masai Mara University employee and student who was allegedly killed by a mob on suspicion of livestock theft. According to police, the body of Gideon Makwinyo was discovered in the TM area of Narok town on Saturday. Now, 3 suspects have been arrested as police seek others. The family of the deceased has strongly denied the theft allegation, claiming that Makwinyo was abducted and bundled into a pro box before he was killed.
Mukienda Masai Mara University mtapata rekodi yake. Fanyikazi na ni msomi. In fact hata ako slotted kugraduate hii mwaka masters ya statistics. Huyu kijana amefanyia nchi kazi na anafanya consultancies katika maneno ya statistics katika nchi ya Kenya.
He was picked from somewhere and I think we can leave where he was picked for the further investigation from the investigation authority so that they can investigate and know what happened to him.
Na sisi kama familia na kama jamii tutaomba ya kwamba haki iende kutendeka, na tunaelewa kwamba serikali na koti yetu itaweza kufuata sheria ndio tupate haki ya mtu ambaye amefariki.
In other news, a member of the Siaya County Assembly has been questioned by police over allegations of planning a protest against an investor in the Yala swamp. Now, Central Alego MCA David Ababa Rangen spent more than an hour at the Siaya Directorate of Criminal Investigations offices after being summoned by the security officers who accused him of mobilizing residents against Leg Agro Limited, a firm cultivating sugarcane in the wetlands. Rangen, however, dismissed the summons as an attempt to silence residents pushed to have the swamp registered as community land, insisting residents have a constitutional right to peaceful protest.
On Saturday, I got a call from the DCI summoning me to record some statement about some demonstrations, alleged demonstrations that were supposed to take place with regards to Yala swamp. We've engaged, and what is coming out is that some people are trying to intimidate us on matters Yala swamp. But I want to reiterate that the swamp belongs to our people. It's a community land, and that must be respected.
What has happened to Mheshimiwa is it is totally unacceptable, because you summon the Mheshimiwa here that he is organizing a riot for the company or about the company. It is not true.
The Kenyan government has once again reaffirmed its commitment in advancing labour standards across Africa as it hosts the 4th African Regional Labour Administration Centre Working Parties meeting in Kisumu County. Labour and Skills Development Principal Secretary Shadrach Mwadime emphasized the need to strengthen institutions that promote fair, safe and productive work environments across Africa. The PS, while recalling Kenya's pledge made during the June 2025 RLAC Governing Council meeting in Geneva to host the working parties, noted that Kenya remains steadfast in honouring continental labour commitments.
Our workers are working both in the private sector and the public sector is as conducive as possible. But ultimately, the main object is to ensure that our economies expand, because where working conditions are conducive, you can rest assured that productivity will also be very high. And thereafter, our economies will expand and our standard of living as a people, as African people, will expand.
Well, that particular story we want to read to you, that was earlier on. We had played it. A row is brewing in that particular area of Ngivui, Manyata constituency over the compensation of families whose parcels of land were hived off for the construction of the Gwashema Githinga Kiandome Kangome Road. The families are threatening to block the road, accusing the Embu County government of failing to pay them. Now, a section of residents have expressed concerns over the impending transport disruption, saying the road has in the last 4 years facilitated movement of people and goods in the region.
Tufunge njia ndio serikali wajue atakuwa na wakifanya nini, kwa sababu tunafikiria ile madarasa walipojenga huko hata tunaweza wapomoa, tuende turudi kwa vile tulikuwa tupande kitu kingine huku, lakini sio mpango yetu, lakini serikali watuforce kufanya hiyo kazi.
Hii barabara ikifungwa nitapata zinda sana, juu niko na watoto natokea kwenda kuwatafutia na ninatokea na hii njia. Sasa watu wa hii area wakipanga kufunga, hata watoto wangu watapata njaa hapo.
Kwa sasa tuko na masinda mingi ya kutokea, kwa sababu saidi kumenyesha, pikipiki asiwezi tokea, hata mgonjwa akigonjeka hakuna vile anaweza tolewa kwa main, hata kuna gari inaweza hata fika kuchukua hata mgonjwa. Tungeomba serikali tusaidie na watu walipo wenye walipeana mashamba.
Over 500 widows from Kisii County have come together to launch a saving and credit cooperative to empower themselves economically. The women are drawn from Bomachoge Borabu, Bomachoge Chache and Bobasi constituencies formed Jalia Africa and Child Sacco to empower widows through farming, livestock and other income-generating projects. The initiative also gives the women a platform to seek support, fight discrimination and restore their dignity.
Came here, others don't have even houses, others have said they don't even have mattresses, and others from the way they're dressing, you can easily tell they don't have anything.
Kunyang'anywa mashamba, naweza sema wengi wetu wako na shida hiyo. Kusongesha boundaries, wakati unataka hata usaidizi, tupati usaidizi kama watu wengine.
Sasa ukipata hao watoto wenye wametoka kwa hiyo familia hawajiwezi kutoa hiyo karo, ndio maana tumechieka pamoja kama walimu ili tuwasaidie. We want to empower these widows, we empower those kids so that they can brighten their future.
Well, it is exactly 35 minutes. We want to take another short commercial break. When we come back, we'll be telling you what is happening in the world of business and sports, so don't go too far.
Kwa ajili ya kusherekea fasili na asili ya soka barani Afrika, ligi za ndani na magwiji wasiotambulika.
Mangeni Alvin anaichanja ndani uzuri, David!
Michuano ya CAF ya mataifa ya Afrika 2024 ni njia ya kuzindua kupanua mtandao wa wachezaji ulimwenguni. Timu itakayoshinda itazawadiwa dola za Marekani milioni 3.5 pamoja na kujivunia kulinyanyua kombe hilo. Pata manufaa zaidi kutoka kwa CHAN 2024 mubashara na kipute cha kipekee kwenye runinga ya KBC Channel 1, mwenzio wa dhati michezoni.
Zinazoathiri maisha yako na zinapojiri, tuko hapo.
Tunakuletea habari zinazojiri nchini na kimataifa.
Hakuna kabila ambayo iko hapa Kenya kwa
Mambo ya matibabu isiwe starehe ya watu wadosi.
Tunakufahamisha kila wakati ili uwe tayari kwa yajayo.
We will also be designating the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations.
Katika ulimwengu unaosonga kwa kasi, usahihi wa habari ni muhimu.
The only thing that has changed, Senator Khalwale, is that you are defending the indefensible. If you allow me as a bullfighter, I'll fix him here and now and it will be sorted out.
You were doing very well until you brought out your character of bullfighting.
Tunakupa habari sahihi na zisizoegemea upande wowote.
Pindi tu walioteuliwa wataidhinishwa na bunge la kitaifa.
Na ni hapa ndipo
Darubini,
kila siku ya Jumatatu na Jumanne
saa 1 jioni.
I never heard the music so sweet. I repeat.
Wagwan, me brethren, big things are going. Remember, each and every Monday we have to shell down the place with nothing but the best of smooth reggae vibes in your favorite station. You know these things, man.
Alafu kila Tuesday, kata simu tupo side, giving you Kenyan music from the 254.
And of course, you can spice up your Wednesday by enjoying blazing hot hip-hop and R&B jams.
We don't got no label. She say she want bottles.
Vibes and vibes as we go all across Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, all the way to Tanzania to give you nothing but the best on Afro Thursday. Make sure you make a date with us each and every single Friday with me, DJ_Liza Diva,
DJ Cold,
and me, Wanjiko. This is Club One Extra.
Unanifanya nisikie kunongwa. Hadija ai, mani especially ukisonga.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, Mount Kenya region counties have recorded a significant reduction in the use of illicit and adulterated liquor, except Kiambu County. However, speaking during the 30th Jukwaa la Usalama Security Tour in Murang'a County, Interior Cabinet Secretary, that is Kipchumba Murkomen, sounded a warning to those disturbing illicit brews and drugs in Mount Kenya region. The CS said senior police officers abetting the illegal business for financial gains will face disciplinary action. Murkomen also warned leaders against political incitement, saying security agencies are ready to apprehend any person disrupting peace in the country.
Gilbert, police spokesperson.
As a county government, support security sector.
There is a very notorious businessman here called Mike Power, who has been harassing our security sector here in this county. You will see more activities. Last night, our security team raided some of his outlets, and we were able to confiscate illegal, unadulterated ethanol, and illegal and counterfeit alcohol worth over 3 million shillings, just one evening. And even when that was done, there were calls from all over. Including compromise and sabotage from our own security officers, and the IG is going to take disciplinary action against them today. The security sector is prepared to deal with any insecurity issues. The last time he was around and there were so many goons in the same of protests, we were very prepared, and every other minute the National Police Service is prepared to protect citizens and their property.
As a county government.
And now welcome to the world of business. Family Bank Group has reported 2.3 billion shillings in net profit during the first 6 months of this year, representing a 38.6% increase. The net profit was mainly driven by a 40% jump in net interest income to 6.95 billion shillings.
Pushed up loans and advances to customers by 10.4% to 100.9 billion shillings. From this, the lender netted 7.8 billion shillings in interest income on the loans and advances, which is a 14.8% increase, as well as 3.4 billion shillings in interest income on government securities, representing a 48.7% growth. This pushed Family Bank's net interest income up 40% to 6.95 billion shillings. Additionally, the bank booked 2.68 billion shillings in total non-interest income, representing a 17.87%.
Our profit before tax grew by 26%, but our profit after tax grew by 39%. Our net interest income grew by 40%. And when you talk of net interest income, it shows the future of the institution. That said, we also managed to grow our non-interest income by 18%. And the growth in non-interest income by 400 million was largely due to our investment in technology.
Total operating expenses rose 36.3% to 6.7 billion shillings, driven by higher staff costs and loan losses provision. This is after the gross non-performing loans hit 15.22 billion shillings, up from 14.07 billion shillings, prompting the lender to increase loan loss provision by 68.4% to 663.53 million shillings.
On customer deposits over time, we have seen a compounded annual growth rate for the last 5 years during the last strategic period of 17%. The loan book has had a compounded annual growth rate of 13%. The total assets a compounded annual growth rate of 16%. Net profits, which is music to any investor and shareholder, a compounded annual growth rate of 30%. The interest income has recorded 23% and operating income 14%.
A 10.4% increase in loans and advances to customers to 100.9 billion shillings helped drive our Family Bank's total assets from 158.43 billion shillings to 192.86 billion shillings. Sylvia Gatti reporting for Lunchtime News.
Science, Research and Innovation Principal Secretary Shaukat Abdulrazak says the government is keen on stepping up support to start-ups and innovations in the biotech space to boost food production and reduce the food import bill. Here's Benson Rioba with the details.
Billion shillings startup funding last year, representing 29% of the total announced that was channeled to Africa. To tap into private equity, innovators, researchers and startups in the biotech space are being challenged to pursue partnerships to commercialize or scale up their innovations.
We need to first ensure that we are producers of technology, are not just consumers of technology. We have been consuming for such a long time.
Abdiaziz says a number of policies and legislations are in the pipeline as the government targets to open up the food biotech space to more investors.
Just looking at the government to do 100%, but we are also going to create the enabling environment, private sector to come in, venture capitalists to come in and be able to take our products to the next level. We must safeguard whatever we produce.
Kenya is keen on leveraging biotech to reduce post-harvest losses to below 10% from a high of 40% currently.
It is unacceptable, a country like Kenya, that we want to grow and become the middle income economy, yet our children under 5 are being faced with the challenges of stunting.
Research organizations should share crucial biotech information to reduce research costs and enhance local partnerships.
For research to become meaningful,
We must fund research in our universities. We must create a fund that goes to research in all our universities so that we get the thinking and the innovation going on in the universities. This 2% and 0.8% is too little.
They were speaking during the official opening of the Kenya National Research Festival at Egerton University. Benson Rioba reporting for Lunchtime News.
Elsewhere, there is a need for institutions to strengthen their sustainability reporting, governance and accountability if they are to unlock investment and deliver inclusive growth. This is the call by the International Federation of Accountants Chief Executive Officer Lee White during the Connect Africa 2025 forum convened by the International Federation of Accountants in partnership with the Pan-African Federation of Accountants and the Institution of Certified Public Accounts of Kenya, ISPAC, where small and medium-sized enterprises were challenged to embrace sustainable business practices in order to remain competitive to meet the rising expectations of global markets.
In light of the risks and challenges that come from the changes with sustainability. The second is the better they can get information into their hands of investors, the ease in which capital flows will come because investors are looking for this new form of information.
We have a roadmap as ISPAC on how we are going to onboard all the stakeholders. So for the big firms, the listed companies, the manufacturing companies, these ones have already been onboarded. So the next roadmap is the SMEs, but definitely what we'll need is a lot of resources in terms of capacity building. We know that to report beyond the normal, which is now the financial reporting, which has been an issue with the SMEs, is a challenge. So this is also likely to be a challenge, but with a lot of sensitization on the importance of sustainability reporting, because this is not just about reporting, it is about taking care of the future.
There is a need to set up sensitization and awareness about Islamic finance to drive uptake and financial inclusion. Absa Bank Kenya head of Islamic banking, Tego Walasa, says despite the deepening of financial services, some Kenyans are yet to access the services due to their location in remote areas or the time that do not align with their culture.
There was need for us to come together, all the players within this sector to come together under the umbrella of the Association of Sharia Compliant people who are working within the Sharia Compliant sector so that we can work together. So for me, this marks a very important event in the history, or a milestone in the history of Islamic banking in this country.
Over the 20 years, we've had hits and misses. For instance, we've had 6 banks coming into Islamic banking and finance product. We've had a number of circles. The number of customers at close of last year was around 608,000, which is a huge growth. However, there's still challenges here and there over the last 20 years, starting with knowledge gap, customers failing to trust the product as Sharia compliant, lack of knowledge in the industry, and a number of other small challenges here and there.
World of Sports co-host Uganda sealed the place in the quarter-finals of the African Nations Championship CHAN 2024 after a dramatic 3-3 draw with South Africa in their final Group C clash at Nelson Mandela Stadium in Kampala. Uganda locked destined to defeat after a thrilling 3-1 in the 87th minute, but they staged a remarkable comeback, scoring twice in the 88th minute and 96th minute through penalty kick to snatch the vital point. The results ended South Africa's campaign after other Group C fixtures between Algeria and Niger finished goalless at Nyayo National Stadium in Nairobi County. Uganda qualification means all three co-hosts Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda have advanced to the last 8. The group stage concludes today with Group D matches. Defending champion Senegal will play Sudan, while Nigeria will take on Congo. The quarterfinals matches are scheduled for Friday and Saturday, with Kenya's Harambee Stars facing Madagascar at Kasarani Stadium and Tanzania taking on Morocco at Benjamin Mkapa Stadium in Dar es Salaam this Friday. Catch all the live action on KBC Channel 1.
Where is it? Well, the Cranes trying to keep the move alive. Mkundane wants the ball. Achai, the shot takes a deflection here from Yunus Sentamu. They appeal for a corner. Well, the Cranes are begging for the penalty for the handball. We have another chance to look at it here. And it is penalty for the Uganda Cranes. Makes the run up. The shot is good. Power, precision, pain, roller coaster. The Cranes.
Now, the 4 nations that completed in the second edition of the African Youth Scrabble Championship left the country last evening, a day after completion of the tournament held at Brighton International School. The teams Nigeria, Uganda, Ghana and Cameroon, together with Kenya, competed in the tournament that attracted a total of 138 players.
After successfully defending the title at the second edition of the Africa Youth Scrabble Championship, Nigeria returns home carrying the trophy they also won in the first edition held in Lagos in 2023. They left the country together with teams from Ghana, Uganda and Cameroon, who all participated in the 4-day tournament at Brighton International School in Syokimau, Machakos County. Sophia Ekeruche and Achibong Prestige, both of Nigeria, won the under-15 and under-19 categories respectively. Ekeruche won all her 18 matches to take the under-15 title, ahead of Kenya's Kingsley Odhiambo, who was second after winning 14 out of 18 matches played in the tournament. Hassan Olojoku of Nigeria was third, winning 13 matches and losing 5. Michael Somua of Ghana and Adrian Ngari of Kenya sealed the top 5 positions. Achibong Prestige dominated and won the under-19 category, winning 18 matches and losing 6. Abdul Kudus Aliu, also of Nigeria, settled for second position, having won and lost the same number of matches. Olujoki Sufana and Joy Nabuzor, both of Nigeria, won third and fourth, while Kenyan Olive Alina finished in the 5th position. The third edition of the continental event will be held in Accra, Ghana in 2027.
Further afield, Leeds United marked their English Premier League return with a 1-0 victory over Everton at Elland Road. The match, however, was overshadowed by refereeing controversy surrounding a decisive goal. Lucas Mencha scored the only goal of the match from the penalty spot in the second half, while Everton's James Tawakoski was penalised for handball, a decision that sparked protest. Despite the protest, Leeds held on to a calm all 3 points.
But here's Goodmanson. Stack goes again. And that's Bogle.
And that concludes our bulletin. But before I go on, to remind you that all the Group D matches will be completing today, with defending champion Senegal set to play Sudan, while Nigeria will take on Congo. All those matches, you can catch them here live on KBC Channel 1 if you're not headed there to the respective stadiums where these particular matches are being held. You'll watch it live on KBC Channel 1. And all the analysis, pre-analysis and post-analysis also coming up shortly. That concludes our bulletin. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. The sign language interpreter at the bottom of the screen is Anne Wangeshi. Good afternoon for now.